Things are looking really bad for Huma Abedin. I'm going to tell you why I think she's soon going to be criminally charged. Seems like every day new information is surfacing about the way Huma Abedin handled classified emails. Well, we know that many classified emails were found on her husband's, Anthony Weiner's, laptop. Well, now we're finding out how that happened, and it bodes very, very poorly for Huma. It looks like Huma Abedin didn't simply send these emails to Anthony Weiner's laptop. Anthony Weiner, now, of course, a convicted pedophile. It appears that she proactively, intentionally, knowingly, remember, James Comey said there was no intent, even though intent wasn't a standard. Well, now it appears there was intent on the part of Huma Abedin, that she intentionally plugged the device on which she was storing the emails into her husband, Anthony Weiner, Carlos Danger's computer, and transferred the files. There is no way around this for Huma Abedin. Huma Abedin, if the FBI and DOJ want to retain a semblance of credibility, they're going to have to criminally charge Huma Abedin. I talked about this last week. This is a case. The evidence is now so overwhelming. I'm going to read you some comments from tech experts. But the evidence against Huma and her mishandling, her intentional, knowing mishandling of classified information is now so overwhelming that a junior prosecutor, somebody right out of law school, would present this to a grand jury and get a true bill. That's what it's called when a grand jury returns an indictment, a true bill. They can get that true bill in minutes. And global media ran this. I'm reading from a Daily Mail piece, but it's really out there all over the place. They came right out and said, Huma Abedin backed up copies of her emails with Hillary Clinton to her pervert husband, Anthony Weiner's laptop, conflicting. Now, this is the worst part. This all conflicts with the statements Huma made to the FBI. Now, remember, General Mike Flynn and Papadopoulos, they were charged with process crimes, lying to the FBI. Well, it appears, beyond the shadow of a doubt, beyond a reasonable doubt, with probable cause to arrest and indict, that Huma Abedin lied to federal investigators. That's the least of her crime. It appears she knowingly and intentionally mishandled classified information and transferred it onto her husband's personal laptop. That's a crime in and of itself. This conflicts, I'll read you from the story, this conflicts with her account to the FBI and in court that she did not preserve the conversation. So federal investigators then was in court under oath saying, I never backed up any classified emails. Well, now forensic investigators have found on Weiner's laptop Huma's emails, and they've also been able to determine that those emails got onto the laptop via a hardwire transfer between devices. And that's more damning. Why? Well, Huma could have pled ignorance to downplay the charges if, say, she was sending those files to Hillary Clinton and her husband might have been next to Hillary Clinton in her address book and she inadvertently selected him as a CC on the email. She could have been sending another file to her husband that was on her computer next to. Those classified files shouldn't have been there. But in terms of the transfer of information and Huma lying to investigators, she's debunked for this reason. It could have been where Huma sent an email to her husband about their children, but she inadvertently clicked the wrong file and transferred those classified emails. But Huma connecting the devices, physically making a physical hardwire connection with the devices and transferring that data, and apparently only that data, completely obliterates any of those potential legal arguments by her defense team, that this was an inadvertent attachment on an email or that he was mistakenly added to an email chain with someone authorized to receive that information. Can't argue that anymore. Now, a tech expert that Daily Mail interviewed basically said what I just explained to you, that Abedin would have had to have activated the backup program and may well have plugged her device into the laptop, raising further questions over her testimony to the FBI. In other words, she had to proactively, intentionally, and knowingly activate this backup. This wasn't a mistake. But why is this so bad for Huma? And why is this potentially even worse for Hillary? And these were all, by the way, uploaded and backed up from a BlackBerry backup app. And the FBI discovered them when they did a forensic exam on Weiner's laptop after they were looking at him for inappropriately sexually chatting with a 15-year-old girl, oftentimes while his little child was laying next to him. What a terrible guy. He's going to jail for 2 years. It should have been 20. But that's a whole other show. We're going to get into that soon enough. But why is this bad for Hillary? Well, Anthony Weiner's going to prison for 2 years. Now, Huma Abedin is a young child. She's going to have to make a choice when DOJ and the FBI come knocking again. We know the investigation's reopened, so they're already knocking. Does she protect Hillary Clinton, whose career is now done? Hillary, who only has money, and a lot of money, to offer Huma. Does she protect Hillary Clinton for a payday and allow her son to go live with relatives or in a foster care? I'm assuming she has family, so the child can live with relatives or friends, or go into foster care, which somebody as affluent as Huma, that doesn't happen to them. But even so, if the child is living with relatives, do you not see your child for potentially many years and have your child, your young, impressionable child, come visit you in federal prison to protect Hillary Clinton? Or do you say to federal investigators, you've got me, I screwed up, I've got Hillary, I've got Cheryl Mills, I've got Bill, I've got Loretta Lynch, I've got Strzok, I've got Comey, I've got McCabe. I mean, I'm wishfully thinking here, but do you cut that deal? You say, I've got Hillary Clinton and everybody around her. I know all about the collusion between the Hillary campaign, Fusion GPS, the FBI, the DOJ. I know about Loretta Lynch, Bill Clinton, private jet meeting. Hey, FBI, I've got a treasure trove for you, far more valuable to you, FBI, far more valuable to you, DOJ, than me putting a few files on my husband's laptop that you have that weren't transferred to anyone else. Are you going to go easy on me? Can we cut this deal? And I'll bury everybody for you. I just want protection for me and my family. Now, a normal person would probably do the latter. A normal person would not sacrifice their life with their child for Hillary Clinton. But Huma Abedin doesn't appear to be a normal person. This is a person who has been at Hillary's beck and call for 20 some odd years. And universally, Hillary Clinton is regarded as a terror to work for. Her diplomatic security service detail despised her. I know a few guys that were on Madeleine Albright's detail, who then trained many of the people on Hillary's detail. Now, DSS, Diplomatic Security Service, is really just a State Department's version of the Secret Service. They provide security to the Secretary of State and visiting dignitaries, whereas the Secret Service provides it to the President, the First Family, and a few other executive-level officials. Essentially the same mission, same training, just different agencies, different name. And the agents, from what my law enforcement sources tell me, the agents on Hillary's detail just simply despised her. That's been backed up by people like Dan Bongino, former Secret Service agent who worked for the Clintons. There's a famous photo of Dan Bongino standing behind Hillary at a tennis match in New York, about 15 or so years ago. And Dan has been very vocal on air about agents disliking Hillary Clinton. She's been very, very rude to her staff for years, especially the agents. So I don't expect she'll get any cover. But back to the point, Hillary has not been an easy person to be around or work for, yet Huma Abedin has existed with her for apparently over 20 years. So I don't expect Huma Abedin to do what a normal parent would do and choose their child over Hillary, although I'm cautiously optimistic. But one thing I'm certain of, now I could be wrong, but I'm usually not when it comes to the analysis of criminal investigations. And I'll reiterate something I said earlier. If the FBI and DOJ want to retain a semblance of credibility, and they want to start to repair this erosion, this crisis of confidence, this erosion of public trust they brought upon themselves, in light of this new evidence, they are going to have to criminally charge Huma Abedin very, very quickly. If you like this content, and it's very interesting, and I want to keep bringing it to you, please subscribe to our premium service at www.therebel.media/shows. And I go more in depth on this segment and more in depth on what Congress is looking into with regards to the FBI, especially those stroke page text messages, on my new 1 hour show, Off the Cuff, Declassified, right here on The Rebel. Thank you so much for watching. Check out my new show. I'll be back with you tomorrow.